to man up. Thanks for keeping it locked. We are talking love, relationships, marriage, and divorce, unfortunately. All kinds of stuff going on in the Man Up Sports Show. We're going to man up with it, though. We're gonna keep it real. Ladies, I know if y'all listen to the show, y'all always want to know what a man thinks and how a man feels about relationships. Well, keep listening, because we gonna tell you. as my boy Big West would say, be quiet.
Be quiet and listen.
And listen, because we telling you how we feel about it, and y'all always want to know what we think, so we giving it to you. We have our homie, if y'all haven't heard, Wil Mabon, Christian actor, avid blogger, in with us. You guys have, you and your wife are doing a blog and have a great one, might I add, giving it from both ends of the perspective. Will, tell them what you guys are doing.
Well, y'all can check out the blog. It's ourlifeonchrist.com. Once again, that's ourlifeonchrist.com. And basically, we're just telling a story about two teenage kids that met and, grew up, got married, and lived their life a certain way, and then look at our life now. Our life is on Christ. You remember that commercial back in the day? This is your brain. This is your brain on drugs.
Any questions?
Yeah, that's where my wife got the concept. So, you get to see our life. We talk about the things that we've experienced, and we talk about current situations. And, we're just, if you follow us, you'll see that we're going to just pour into people and let people just see, a transparent Will, excuse me, and a transparent Angie, and get to dig into our life a little bit.
I'm going to tell y'all that I check y'all blog probably as often as I check ESPN.com.
That's what I'm talking about, baby. Boy. Yeah.
Daily.
I'm going to have to start checking.
Bruh,
well,
daily.
See, here's the thing. We just created this this calendar because we don't want people to just come to our blog and have randomness. We want them to know why they're going to the blog and what they're going to get when they show up. Most blogs you just go to and you're like, oh, they talking about this. That was interesting. Or they have a title, to catch your attention, and you click on that. Well, on Mondays, we have Music Mondays. That's an opportunity for us to really promote Christian artists. I got to thank my man Dre for, helping me cross over, man, because I don't do secular music whatsoever.
That song is hot.
I mean, I don't have one secular song. Actually, I take that back. I got one. A friend of mine's a Christian. He don't do Christian music, though. But it's clean. And there's only 2 songs in my whole collection. Anyways, so Mondays is Music Mondays. We'll post a video or a hot song. On Tuesdays is going to be Freestyle Day. Anything goes. We're going to be looking to get our followers, get some suggestions for them, cover things that they want to hear. On Wednesdays, we talk about Happily Wedded Wednesdays. It's where we talk about relationships, talk about marriage, primarily our marriage, so you guys can see we're transparent.
Extremely transparent. Yeah. I love it. I love it.
I don't want to say I'm the realest dude you'll meet, but as you follow my blog, you're going to be like, dude, this dude not have any boundaries? Like, dude, that's kind of private, man. Like, nah, man, look, whatever. It happened, look, whatever. On Thursdays, it's going to be a Bible study. We're going to talk about some stuff in the Word because we don't want you guys to follow us because you like Will and Angie. We don't ever want to be idolized. We want to give God the glory every opportunity we can. That's why we even have Christ in our address, so people know it's not about us. And then on Fridays, it's going to be Funny Fridays. So we're going to try to find something funny to talk about.
I'm going to tell you a couple of stories, particularly that I enjoy. That you guys are on your blog, and one of them I'll let you really dig into. One of the first ones that I read was, I think Angie wrote like 3 things I learned when I thought my husband died.
Oh, yeah,
something like that.
When I thought my husband was dying.
Oh my goodness,
yeah.
It was powerful. It was awesome. If y'all go to the blog, start there. Read that one first. That's one of my personal favorites.
Helps put things in perspective.
The other one was a big picture item that I thought was when you guys were talking about housework and how men view housework versus how women view housework. That was off the chain. But to me, you guys are putting out, it's getting better. The blog is getting better and better. And when I say that, last but not least, you guys did a post about should husbands submit in the house as well. So if you guys don't know, if you guys are not, if you're not digging deep into your word, they went to Ephesians 5 where it was talking about women submitting to their husbands. And you guys put a really, really interesting spin on that or discussion point on that. Will, can you get into that a little bit? Tell us about that.
Well, it all boils down to this. I had a counseling session. Man, I've been counseled a lot in my marriage. I just realized that my wife and I was talking about, I think we've talked to 5 or 6 different pastors about we were about to get divorced twice.
How long y'all been married?
7 years. I'm 28. Man, so it was just like, we just jumped over the edge and did it. We was suffering ever since.
Dove.
So check it.
Head first.
Yeah, so one pastor told me, and I take this from this pastor, if I don't take anything else from him, he told me if I'm ever having problems in my relationship, it's my fault. It is never my wife's fault. Never. Ever. And I was like, wow. He said, the only way you can start to pass any blame to your wife is if you can look at your life and have no flaws. And that would never be possible. So when he said it, it kind of pissed me off. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
This is her fault. I'm the saint in this relationship. So, as time went on, I matured a little more. I realized that I have to just take on the blame because I'm the head, And then when it really hit home and I really began to change was when I rededicated my life to Christ. And I said, you know what? I got to make some changes. And this is a little true story real quick. On Facebook, a friend of mine made a post and he said something. He's a single guy. He said something along the lines of, women, nobody want to hear your mouth. When we want to hear your mouth, we'll marry you. I was just like, wow. And I thought about it and I didn't want to say anything. And I was like, no, man. I was on that whole binge of, that's when I just got rid of my secular music. I was all Christian Lecrae and Trip Lee and Humble Tip all out, right? So I was like, man, I'm a rebel. I got to get this food. So I jumped on this little post and I was like,
he's in rebellion.
I was like, look, man. I was like, check it out. So I was like feeding his ego a little bit, right? I was like, yeah, man, look, I don't got that problem. I said, my wife submits to me. I was just like real aggressive with it, right?
You set him up is what you did.
Yeah. She do what I say, when I say, why I say, how I say, blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? And then I hit him with the twist. I just kind of laid the hammer on him. I was like, you know why? Because I submit to God. I do what he say, when he say, why he say, where he say. I said, so it makes it a lot easier for my wife to do as I say because she knows where I'm getting my guidance and direction from. She knows she's not just following some man with his, his worldly vision and his worldly goals, so it's easier for her to submit to me and do the things that I ask her to do, or sometimes I may tell her to do. But so that's what the post is about. It's about husbands learning to gain the respect from their spouses, their wives, by learning to trust and do as God tell you to do. It's so much easier to follow a person when you clearly know where they're going. My wife, if she want to know where I'm going, all she got to do is read her Bible. She know exactly where I'm going to make my left turn, when I'm going to make my right turn. If you're following somebody and you're just like, oh, he went right, and you're trying to catch up with him all the time, you're just like, man, I can't keep on this path, man. This is a roller coaster. I never know when he's going to turn, when he's going to be excited or mad. So, you jump ship. You start finding another guy who you can follow his plan a little easier.
Feel like you can follow his plan.
Exactly. He's sending his representative.
Exactly. That representative, boy.
So
that's what it's about.
That's interesting, man. I had a conversation in small group. I know, like I said, names are kept private. I love the guys in my small group, man. Y'all great. One of the guys made a comment about, I don't even think he's in our group anymore, but one of the guys made a comment, man, you can't get no woman to follow you these days. How you gonna be a leader? And my response was, I said, one of the main reasons why in the church that, a lot of times as men, we have so many problems with our wives or girlfriends or whatever. She the first person to know when you fake.
Oh, most definitely.
She's the first person to know. Next is your kids.
Yeah.
She's the first person to know when you stand up, real talk, when you stand up and you preach the gospel and everybody's clapping and patting you on the back, or you lead a Bible study or a men's group and everybody's patting you on the back, she's the first person to look at you and say, man, he cussed me out on the way up here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, or he slapped me 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. Or, you know, whatever, fill in the blank, you know, they're the first person to know, you know. And I thought that was what was awesome about your blog, particularly when you said about keeping prayer frequent and often in the house between you and your spouse and your kids. I think that's particularly important because prayer, I think it's important that your spouse hear you repent and confess to show that you're submitting to God. Yeah, I did make this mistake, but I have somebody who I have to answer to as well for doing this. You know what I mean? I think that is tremendously important, man, that happens, and it was extremely convicting for me personally. Extremely convicting.
That's good, man. That's what it's about, man. We the purpose of our blog, like I said, is to glorify God, but we're trying to do it not in a preachy type of way. We're trying to do it in a transparent way so you can see our flaws. Like, we're going to talk about all the mistakes. Well, probably not all of them. We ain't got that much time. But, you know, we're going to talk about the mistakes that we made and really try to show you that we are real people. Now, you may grow to love us. You may say, man, these fools is crazy. You know, I don't know what your opinion of us is going to be, but one thing you will not be able to deny is that, man, they are keeping it real. And I'm not talking about that sugar-coated keep it real. I'm talking about real. Like, I don't know how to not keep it real because I'm not making it up. You know, I'm just speaking what really happened. So it's I'm not trying to be hard or like the man or like, look at me, I keep it real. No, I'm just telling you what happened, you know, and you take from it what you will.
I think that's one of the things that I love about the blog so much is that you don't get that, oh, everything's fine. Oh, this is my wife, and she is my best friend in the whole wide world. That may be true, but I mean, you know what the image that I'm talking about.
So they on there talking like me and Nair. Huh?
We hope, yes, they are talking like. What I love about it is because I think that's what's missing a lot in our Christian walks is people who will come out and say, "Yeah, you know what, I messed up today, just now, and here's what we did about it." You know, but hey, this is who we are. You know what I mean? We make mistakes. We trip, we fall, we stumble, sometimes over the same log more than once. But it is what it is. We're gonna get there.
So I'm gonna tell y'all a little confession. It's not really my confession. It's like my wife's confession. She should be here with this confession. Okay. Because it just happened yesterday, right? Pertaining to our blog. She really doesn't like the way it looked. I mean, I think it looks great, right? But she wants to do some different things to it for whatever reasons. And she kind of got a little mad. I won't go into the whole story about it. But I was like, calm down. You know, it's not a big deal. The only thing we need to do on our blog is to deliver good content consistently. Show people what's going on in our life. Show people how we are learning to follow Christ and how he is changing us. But, you know, you get sidetracked with trying to make it all pretty and this and that. And it's like, no, I can care less if you don't stick with my blog for an hour just clicking on everything. Look, as long as you come to the blog and you get one nugget and you're there for 30 seconds and you leave, cool. I hope it changed your life. But I was like, babe, don't get all caught up in that other stuff. You know, if we change it, sometime we probably change it up. Can't keep looking at the same blog for years. You know, you got to eventually change it. But yeah, so she need to be here confessing how she got caught up in something so trivial and so pointless that I'm just like,
and
baby,
she got on you, huh?
Yeah, she was getting stressed out. I'm like, do you hear yourself right now? You know my wife. You know how calm she is.
Yeah.
Dude, she was like making a big deal. You saw like steam coming from her head. I'm like, what are you doing?
Okay, let me ask you how you handle that. I mean, I know how you supposed to handle. I've been married for 15 years. I want to hear how you handle.
Oh, I put my foot down. I told her chill out. I put my foot down, but I gave her I gave her an opportunity to submit to me.
Did you give her enough rope to hang herself?
Nah.
Sometimes you got to do that.
Nah, I didn't.
Some lessons learned on your own are the best lessons learned.
You're right, but I just had to just take the lead and tell her to follow.